bloating, gas, distended belly, just feeling unwell. These are all symptoms of leaky gut, also known as increased intestinal permeability. And what we're going to do is we're going to give you some good advice today on how to solve this problem. Now, my name is Dr. Story. I want to welcome you to my channel. I've been a chiropractor for over 26 years. I'm going to give you realistic advice based on my experience and based on the scientific literature. Many patients have leaky gut and they have problems. It's embarrassing to talk about. And unfortunately, there just aren't a lot of medications that help rebuild the tissue so that you can solve this. All medications are designed to stop the symptoms. So if you're bloated, if you have gas, if you had a distended tummy, very often doctors will give you medications that will have an effect on the symptom, but you're going to find out in the next couple minutes that they really do nothing to actually solve the gut lining, and that is how you get rid of this problem for the long term. So that is what I hope to help you with today. One of the most important things that we need to discuss is what is this problem? Now, technically in the literature, this is called increased intestinal permeability, but no one knows what that means, or it's hard to say, so everybody just calls it leaky gut. So now when food enters your mouth has a lot of enzymes in the saliva that help start the process of breaking down food. It goes through the esophagus, then the acids in the stomach further break down foods. Then it goes into the small intestine where there's a lot of enzymes that also break down the food, and your body starts absorbing nutrients. Then it goes into the large intestine where the body is trying to excrete water, get rid of the waste, and that is how our digestive system works. Now in the small intestine and the large intestine, think of it this way, there are little holes where as our body starts to break down, for example, protein, the body breaks down protein into smaller and smaller pieces into amino acids, and those are absorbed through these tiny little holes in our intestines that then absorb into the blood. Then the blood is carried to the liver, and then the liver kind of filters it out and gets rid of bad things, toxins and things like that, and then it goes into the general bloodstream so that our body can use these amino acids to rebuild tissue. For example, if you're lifting weights and maintain bone mass and things of that nature. Now the problem is with increased intestinal permeability, it's exactly what it sounds like. There is an increase in the intestines in the permeability, and what that means is these little holes where these nutrients go into the hole is bigger and now allows toxins and bacteria, for example, to enter the bloodstream. Now, this is a major problem. Normally, our body would not absorb those toxins. Normally, our body would not absorb those bacteria, and the issue is now that it is, our body almost acts as if it's an autoimmune response or an aggressive inflammatory response where our body has to try to fight these toxins and bacteria that are now entering our bloodstream. So that's why we get gas, that's why we get bloating, that's why we feel very, very unwell. So really, it's a problem with the lining of our intestines. And it behooves us to try to solve this by not stopping the symptoms. The symptoms are just a manifestation of the problem. You want to actually heal the gut, and that is how you do it. So I'm going to give you what I have found to be useful in trying to heal the gut. Now, most people know what foods irritate them. So if they eat, let's say, raw broccoli, or if they eat some boxed cereal or milk, for example, they just feel bloated, they have gas, they don't feel well, that type of thing. So number one, what we have to do is try to stop all the foods that actually cause us harm. Most people know what those are, many people don't. And so I'm going to give you some clues as to what those might be right now. It's actually very simple. Anything that comes in a box that you purchased at the supermarket that looks like it was made in a factory or laboratory probably is going to irritate your gut lining. So we need to stop all of that. Raw vegetables tend to bother people because the lining of the gut is already irritated, so those vegetables just tear you up. And any type of sugary drinks such as sodas, a lot of coffees from local coffee houses that are full of sugars and creams, those usually will cause problems. So once those are out of your system and not irritating the system anymore, then we need to start healing the gut. And what you need to do is to have a time available where you don't allow food to go into your body so that your body can start to heal. If your intestines are always working, they never have a chance to kind of rest and rebuild. And so that is what you're going to do. This is actually a good argument for trying to do time-limited eating, where you try to limit the amount of time that you eat, also known as intermittent fasting. Once the word intermittent fasting came on, it became popular, but time-restricted eating is something that is well known, and no one made a big deal about it until it was called intermittent fasting. But what you'll do is you'll try to eat breakfast later in the day, you'll try to eat dinner earlier in the day, to the point where you can kind of limit that time span. Some people will actually just limit breakfast and eat lunch and dinner. Some people will eat breakfast, eat lunch, and then not eat for the rest of the day. That's fine. It doesn't really matter, but what matters is if you can have a period of time where you don't eat, where your body is allowed to rest, then that is going to help you. It actually is more beneficial to eat in the middle of the day, not eat super early in the morning, and then not eat right before bedtime. Because quite frankly, all of us, whether we like it or not, are doing a time-restricted eating or intermittent fasting. When we sleep, none of us are eating. Some of us are dreaming of cookies, but we're not eating. So if you're sleeping 6 or 7 or 8 hours, you're already doing fasting. You just don't know it. Now, if you can immediately when you wake up not eat right away, and then not eat right before you go to bed, then you've extended that 6, 7, 8 hours to a 10 or 12 type of hour period. And that is how you can allow your body to heal. Now, what foods should you eat? Here's what I've found that works. What you'll do is you'll start eating mainly animal products such as eggs, chicken breast, and steak. When you eat that, it's very low irritating to your digestive system. There's not a lot of fiber in those foods, and there's not a lot of irritants in those foods. So if you start eating that way, a couple things will happen. First of all, you're going to lose some weight. The second thing that's going to happen is you're going to notice that very likely you're not going to feel bloated. You're not going to feel gassy. You're not going to feel unwell. Once you start to feel better by eating that way, which for some people could take a short period of time, for some people it could take a longer period of time, so it's variable. You start introducing vegetables into your diet, but it's very important that you cook the vegetables. So if you're going to eat spinach, if you're going to eat broccoli, if you're going to eat green beans or peas, something that's going to have fiber in it, you want to definitely cook it because it'll be easier to digest. Now, there are some supplements that you can actually take that will facilitate healing the gut. And for most people, they actually know. They've had this for a long period of time. So you're going to need to take some supplements, especially if you're going to limit the amount of food that you're going to eat or the quality of food so that your body has time to recover. You're going to need those supplements. And I'll tell you in just a moment about the supplements. But if you, number one, give your body a chance to heal, give it time. Number two, take away the things that are irritating your actual gut lining. And number three, eat foods that do not irritate the gut lining, that you can actually digest well. Then those holes where all those toxins and bacteria were entering your bloodstream start to get smaller. The mucosa of the intestinal lining restores back to normal, and you are actually now a healthy person. So today's video sponsor is someone. I'm not sure who, but it's someone pretty cool. Seriously, if you have leaky gut, this is the stuff for you. This is their Leaky Gut Guardian, the Biome Breakthrough. And what it is, there's a vanilla, and a chocolate. Now the key to this type of stuff is this. What you're gonna do is you take 1 scoop, put it in 8 ounces of water, and make sure and drink it about an hour before you eat or after you eat, maybe a couple hours after you eat. You want to make sure and do this on an empty stomach. That's very important because of the reasons I may have mentioned in the video or other videos, that you want the leaky gut to heal. You need the lining of your digestive tract to heal. And changing your diet can help, exercise can help. Those are standard answers. But when you start taking stuff like this leaky gut solution, it really can assist your body in the healing process. So I'm gonna put a link down below with a discount code just for you. Hit that link. If you don't see the link, it's because your phone is upright. Turn the phone sideways, boom, and then hit a little arrow. It looks like this, and you will see the link. Click that link and you can get this stuff. Awesome.